my quarterback, and you mentioned him. I mean, this dude's a freak.
Yeah.
And people talk about him like he's some slapdick from East Aboga,
Right.
community college. And this guy can play the game at the highest level.
Is this a real picture? And if it is, where in the heck and how in the heck did a Kansas State football player get an Oklahoma, what is that, a trombone or something? What is that? You know what they say, when the tough gets going, the going gets tough. At least I think that's how that quote or phrase goes. Anyways, that's besides the point. The point of this video is I'm just going to come out and say it. I owe DJ Uiagalelei an apology. Before we go any farther, I don't think it's just me. I think it's many other people out there. However, I will gladly take the blame for everybody else because I'm the one who has criticized him the most. I don't want to sound like a broken record. Most of you know how I feel about him. I've said ever since summer ball that they just need to move on from DJ and start the 5-star true freshman K Club Nick. I've stated it time after time after time, and it's held true dating back all the way to last year. DJ, he's rough around the edges, and right when it feels like it's time to move on from him, he makes a great play. The case study of Mr. Uiagalelei is really, and I mean really fascinating, because like we saw last week, that's how many of us thought he was going to play last year. We all know how special he was because what was it, 2 or 3 years ago when Trevor Lawrence was out due to the virus and Uiagalelei had to come in and he was throwing for 400 yards a game. After that season, everybody was hyping up DJ, rightfully so. Everybody thought he was going to be a front runner for the Heisman, and it didn't go according to plan. To make a long story short for Mr. DJ, it was similar to what happened last year for Spencer Rattler. He was supposed to be up for the Heisman, but he didn't play well whatsoever, and he even got benched last year. I just ran across this tweet on Twitter. This is exactly what I'm talking about. DJ Uiagalelei will throw a ball into the stands and then throw the most perfect pass you have ever seen. That is the DJ experience. But just like this tweet says, the apology needs to be as loud as the disrespect was. This man balled today. Way to go, DJ Uiagalelei. I do want to speak on that tweet a little because I don't think what I was saying about him was disrespect. I just said he wasn't playing that good, and to be honest, that's the cold hard truth. Over the past year and a half, it's not being hard on him, it's just the reality. He wasn't that great. He stepped up against Wake Forest though, and that was the best game I've ever seen him play. Outside of a couple of passes here and there, you couldn't have asked him to play any better. Finished the game going 26 for 41, 370 yards with 5 touchdowns to 0 INTs, QBR of right at 87. And also on the ground, I think you do got to throw it in there, he had 52 yards. The most important stat line though, and really the only one that matters at the end of the day, is Clemson at the W. I do kind of want to pump the brakes though and relax because I have to tell myself, well, it's only one game, I don't want to overreact or freak out. With that being said though, I've already noticed this year, he looks way better and way more comfortable. It's a night and day difference from last year. I remember watching it last year. Him and the receivers, I don't know if they just weren't on the same page, but he was overthrowing them by 5 yards, underthrowing them by 10 yards. It was a disaster. The offensive line couldn't block, and whenever they did block and give him time, he wouldn't make a good throw. I don't want to rant on that too much because I did that last year. Long story short, it was pitiful. And if you don't want to take my word for it, his numbers do all the talking. In 2021, he only completed 55.6% of his passes and only had 2,200 passing yards. And the most concerning stat line was he only had 9 touchdown passes with 10 interceptions. Very, 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 very bad for a Clemson quarterback. And when I say Clemson quarterback, you may be sitting there saying, yo, Matt, what do you mean by that? Well, I think we all know if you are the quarterback for Clemson, your standards, they're at a whole nother level. Clemson fans in that entire program, they're not okay with just winning 8, 9, or 10 games. No, they want to win a championship every single year. That's the new standard. And with DJ playing the way he did last year, let me clarify, it's not all his fault, but it was some of his fault. That wasn't even going to be a possibility. You will not compete for a championship if he's playing that way. On the flip side in 2022, and this is why I say if he's playing like this, Clemson can win a championship, look at these numbers. Jumped up his completion percentage already about 9%. That is a major difference. Already has 1,000 passing yards and he has 10 touchdowns, which is already more than 2021 and only 1 interception. Solid ratio. I'm going to show you the numbers right here. I don't have to speak on it. The difference is night and day. It's not even comparable. Don't get it twisted. I don't think he's great. I would not throw him in that conversation with a Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, or a Hendon Hooker, but he's playing solid right now. If he can continue to play this way, like I said in the Week 4 recap, you better watch out for Clemson. Their defense, on the other hand, has been kind of shaky, but that's a different conversation for a different day. I do have some minor concerns with DJ, and I would say one of the biggest ones that stands out to me is it still doesn't seem like he reads defenses as fast as some other quarterbacks. I do think he needs to speed that up. However, with that being said, some of that's on the offensive line. If they can give him time to throw, he's about as good as it gets. He throws a pretty ball, and the touch he has on it, it's perfect. And whenever he's in the zone, it's a sight to see. That's been the problem, though. I don't know if there's a single game last year where he was in that quote-unquote zone, where he looked this good like he did last week. Maybe your boy good old Dabo Swinney knows something we don't, because he's been riding or dying for DJ for the past 2 or 3 years. He even stated this after the game, quote-unquote, after 4 games, if you don't recognize he's special, you're blind. I'm going to give Dabo his respect. He has been riding for DJ for the longest now, even when many others have stated he should move on. Gotta give credit to good old Dabo for sticking with his gut. Looking ahead, as we all know, Clemson has a cupcake of a schedule, and it's one of the easiest schedules you'll ever see. This Saturday at 6:30 p.m., they do have a top 10, and I put quotes around that, top 10 matchup against NC State. But we all know if you watch NC State play, they're not really a top 10 team. At least that's in my humble opinion, because they should have lost in week 1 against East Carolina, where the kicker missed an extra point and a game-winning field goal. But hey, that's just me. If you want to believe that NC State is really good, go right ahead. I don't believe it, but regardless of what I think, some of y'all think I'm stupid, it is a top 10 matchup, so DJ's got another tough one on his hands. Whoa, hold on. I literally just got tagged in 2 of the randomest things I've ever seen in my life on Instagram. One of you, I assume you're probably going to watch this video, one of my subscribers just tagged me in this with no context. Didn't say anything, just tagged me in it. What am I looking at? Is this a real picture? And if it is, where in the heck and how in the heck did a Kansas State football player get an Oklahoma, what is that, a trombone or something? What is that? I don't even know what to say about that. I'm going to the comments. Hold on. Yeah, just like this person said, how did he get that? I am bewildered, I guess that's the word you could say, trying to even come up with how he got that. The only thing I can assume is that maybe he knew somebody that was in the band at Oklahoma. Or maybe one of the people in the band dropped it. I don't know. Let's just look at the other thing somebody tagged me in. So apparently Mr. Bijan Robinson, the running back for Texas, I think he's the best running back in the country, he is walking around campus with a football in his hands at all times. Some of you are probably sitting there saying, yo, Matt, why in the heck would he do that? And it's because he had the game-losing fumble in overtime against Texas Tech. I do understand why he's doing that. I guess he's just trying to prove a point to himself, but I also think it's flat out stupid. Carrying a football with you around on campus isn't going to make you better in the games, and it's not going to help you not fumble. Because it's not like in real life somebody's going to see Bijan Robinson go, oh, hey, he's got a football, go try to knock it out of his hands. And even if they do, it's more than likely going to be somebody who's unathletic. Maybe some of y'all think that's cool. I just think it's flat out stupid. Anyways, getting back on top with Mr. DJ Uiagalelei in their game with NC State. We'll see how he plays, and that's pretty much it for this video. I just want to get this out there. I owe DJ an apology because I didn't believe in him. He definitely proved me wrong over the weekend, and he made me eat my words, and I don't mind it. I was actually happy watching him do good because I knew he had it in him all along. Maybe he just needed me to say some bad stuff about him to motivate him, because I know he's watching the videos. Let's just be real. We know that. We all know DJ's on a burner account right now saying, Matt be great, stupid, I was right all along, blah, 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 blah. I am very curious. Preliminary thoughts down below, but with all being said, right away,